Okay, I'm here with Dr. Ashish Ahuja now. Doctor, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
He's actually part of the Young Ophthalmologist group in India, which we're very excited about. And he's joined us today because we're talking now about how, not so much about today's gold standard, but using innovation, what might be the gold standard of the future. And really low-cost initiatives are part of that. Doctor, can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing with your innovation lab in India?
So I'm planning to set up an innovation lab in Mumbai. So basically to create a platform where doctors and engineers can come and collaborate, discuss ideas. A lot of people have creative solutions and low-cost solutions,
right?
But at times we don't know whom to approach and how to go about it. So getting a platform where we can have software developers, virtual reality apps, getting people working on augmented reality, people working on like data scientists, people working with artificial intelligence, 3D printing experts, getting biomedical engineers, mechanical engineers on one platform. So that is where they can tell us what is the limitation of 3D printing, what is possible, what is not, and we can share our ideas as to what devices we want. Probably what was not possible 10 years back is really easy to achieve now.
That's great. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just really excited about this topic. Can you tell me what kinds of devices could be 3D printed, both today and then going into the future?
So 3D printed, we can print on various materials like nylon, ABS. Even metal printing is now possible. Probably the technology is not so advanced in India, but in US. So how I see, probably in 10 years time, everybody would have a 3D printer in their houses.
Right.
And probably the only thing, intellectual material, would be the STL file. So those files are ready to 3D print. So whatever devices and the components you want, you can just print it in your house directly.
So you were talking about an ophthalmoscope earlier, which I don't think was 3D printed, but are there certain types of devices in ophthalmology that would warrant 3D printed materials?
Probably the assemblies, the lenses carrying components. Lenses, obviously, we need the good quality ones, but the array of lenses and even the indirect ophthalmoscopy, the stand and the whole array can be 3D printed. We can make very good quality simulators to train residents and doctors, even for patient education. Probably it was not possible earlier, but very realistic retinal images probably in 3D, so that the patients, actually get a depth perception and not just the 2D image which we show them.
Right.
Usually.
And is really what's driving this innovation a cost factor in India? I mean, it's a huge country with what will be the world's largest population soon enough. That's really behind the innovation in a way?
Yeah, cost is a very big factor in India, where most of the people are not that affording to access technology and to avail good healthcare. And so how do we have a good retina services across the nation, even in the smallest of the rural areas, in a government setup? So if we can use all these technologies and decrease the cost, probably certain things are possible, like all the components which we use in our microscope. So there are a lot of factors when the companies are selling these devices.
Right.
The R&D cost and getting CE certification. But at times in rural areas we might not require the best of the qualities, but a working model.
Right.
So we just get those lenses which are required and make the components and the assembly to hold them 3D printed. So we could decrease the cost by a factor of 10 probably in most of the things.
So it's interesting because if you might not consider 3D printing a gold standard product at this point, but really the concept is moving toward a future in which patients have better access to healthcare, and that's really a topic that deserves the attention of, in other words, gold standard healthcare treatment. How can we move toward that with the innovation that we have through 3D printing and other technologies?
Yes. So like another thing probably would be artificial intelligence coming in.
Yeah.
So probably there would be fundus cameras across everywhere, like in shopping malls, near the subways,
Oh, yeah.
in optical shops. So people will just walk by, take their fundus images, they'll get a printed report,
Wow.
and probably this might be in 5 or 10 years down the line. So they'll visit a retina specialist, saying that, look doc, I've been diagnosed with a PDR or you treat me. I have
That's
macular
fascinating.
edema. So they'll come with the printed out reports. The screening part would be taken care of by the AI. So our job will become much easier.
Now I have to ask, because in China, the government is instituting more measures which are let's just say monitoring of the public.
Yeah.
Now perhaps this has negative connotations for privacy for Westerners, but if there are cameras everywhere due to these new practices, why not use them for healthcare purposes? I mean, perhaps the government could let you know one fine day that actually, through the mail, you've got AMD and you need to come to see a healthcare practitioner.
Yes, definitely. We probably might have very good smartphone-based lenses where you can take your own retinal images in the future.
Yeah.
So it might be possible to do it from your house itself. And just probably have an AI online. You take an image and it gives you the report directly.
Right. So perhaps Big Brother doesn't have to do it for you. You can do it yourself, but with low-cost, home-based methods, just completely enhanced by technology. It's fascinating.
Probably what we are using now was probably science fiction 20 years back, 20, 30 years back, the technology which we have. So
Wow.
next,
I'm getting golden goosebumps thinking about that. So amazing. Now, also just a quick question. Actually, this isn't, as you say, just science fiction. You actually won a presentation award here at APVRS
Yes.
based on your research. Tell me about that.
So this was during my fellowship. I was working on a video recording system for indirect ophthalmoscopy. So everybody is trying to work on smartphone-based fundus imaging.
Right.
So I thought of trying something different. So indirect ophthalmoscopy is a very important part of our clinical examination. So we have a head support with a condensing lenses, and so we use it to image the retina. So I fixed a small spy camera in front of one of the eyepieces, and I used a telephoto lens because we image at 1 arm distance to get the image closer, and I used a simple butter paper to diffuse that illumination, so I could get reasonably good quality of video. And the device also has a Wi-Fi antenna, so it relays the images directly on our smartphones, so it's much easier to share. And probably the cost is really low. It comes to about 4,000 Indian rupees.
Yeah.
So it's a
Just
good
amazing.
working prototype.
So it plays to your strength of reducing costs, contributing to society with this amazing new technology, and perhaps one fine day you'll throw 3D printing into the mix.
Yes.
Very interesting. Well, thanks so much for joining us here.
Thank you.
And
My
talking
pleasure.
about what the gold standards of someday in ophthalmology may be.
Thank you.